And we're live. Hey, welcome back, Rankers.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
Good, thanks, Dixon Jones. So I'm sitting here with Dixon Jones, and this is the second time we've met recently. The last time was yesterday.
Yeah, well, that happens.
Found out something interesting about Skype audio, and we're back.
So, on Google. Google Hangouts.
I tell you what, that conversation that we had, I could have gone on for another hour or so anyway, and from it, I've had a lot of questions overnight, and I've had a lot of questions from staff. And why don't you tell us first about yourself, what you do, and then we'll get into some of the stuff that you're doing.
So for those who don't know me, I'm best known for bringing Majestic to the market, the link tool. So it's a backlink crawler. Now I did that for about 10 years, and then a couple of years ago I started moving back from that. So I'm no longer involved in it day to day, but I'm still an ambassador, brand ambassador at conferences and that kind of thing. And I haven't been to the office all week, but actually they dragged me up to the office last week to show me what they were working on, and it kind of blew me away. So and if you like, I'll show it to you. But they've done something that's I just saw, truckloads of computers arriving at the office when they're making computers and stuff to do it. They've increased the data center and everything to bring something new to the backlink stuff, which is pretty exciting actually. Yeah. It's not a full time.
I just want to stop you on it because I know you it's going to sound like an editorial because you're so excited about it. But I mean, it's legitimately.
It's always
No, but it's legitimately. It's legitimately a very, very useful tool, and one that needs to be talked about, and one certainly that I think a lot of SEOs are going to be upset about because I've already had that sneak peek. But yeah, so for me, I don't know if you can share your screen now, but I think it'd be good to have a look at and just get right into it and discuss it because, yeah, it opens up a lot of questions, and I'm sure there'll be people challenging it. And
before I open up the screen, why don't I just, you made the very valid point that, people are somewhat suspicious of links, or some people are suspicious of links. And I think the reason for it has been that although the tools like ourselves and Ahrefs and Moz and latterly SEMrush have all been collecting and recording backlinks to web pages, they've done two things really relatively badly. I mean, the first is not really understood that a link on a web page can be an internal link or an external link, and if it's an external link to another website, okay, that's just one of 100 links on the page. And if there's 100 other links on the page, even if those other 100 are internal links, that is going to have an impact on the link. But the other thing that I think is really...
Can you just explain that thing about the impact on the link? Because what you're talking about there is essentially... not the density, but like the how many links.
Well, actually, you talk about link density is one. I think come on to link density because that's an interesting idea. It's the original thing was PageRank, of course. So if we just take forget random surfer models and other bits and pieces, but we'll talk about that as well if we want. The original PageRank algorithm sat there and said, right, you've got this page is worth this. We're going to give it a dampening factor of 0.15, and then we're going to divide the rest by all the other links, and then pass that score to other pages on the web. So wherever those pages link to, whether they're internal or external. So if you had 100 other page links on the page, that would make a big difference to how much of the power it would give to the link to your website, if you see what I mean. Right. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is that. I think that Google, for a long time, they came out with a patent called the Random Surfer patent, and they've started to say quite a long time back things like if you've got it in the navigation, that's a different kind of thing, or in the footer, that's a different kind of thing to if it's in the context of the page, and a reasonable, not a random surfer, a reasonable surfer will not click on all the links with the same kind of value. But then you've got to say, Well, in that case, how do we create a formula that works out how people are clicking on pages and whether a link is good or not? And that's really where the stuff comes in. You know, I think we've now cracked it, and I think you can just see it visually on the screen. You don't have to argue whether we're right or wrong. You know, there's been a huge increase. So let me show the show my screen here. I might get a picture of you.
All right, let me flip back. All right, Dixon. Sorry for those technical difficulties, people, but we finally got the screen working.
And, okay. Well, hopefully you'll cut out most of that technical problem, Jim. So
I'll make it look beautiful.
Okay, should I just? I show the viewers, you know, what it is that has changed, and I think it's going to change the way in which we look at links, because I've taken Are You Okay? So that's a big charity in Australia, right?
Yep, mental health.
Yeah. Okay, so what Majestic and Ahrefs and SEMrush and Moz sort of tend to do is have a list of backlink information. So this is ours, you know, it's got yellow.com, Black Dog Institute, you know, Manshed, and these are the links that are going from other websites in the world to areyouok.org.au. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it says something about the strength of the page and stuff. And we did have some internal information. So this page on yellow.com has a total of 90 links on the page, of which, you know, 69 are internal and 21 are external. So we had some information about all of that. But the problem was you didn't know much about the other links. You didn't know where it was on the page. So what Majestic has done, and this is what took truckloads of computers, is they've changed that list to this thing, which is called link context. And so they've changed the whole look. So it's the same list, you know, yellow.com, Black Dog Institute, Manshed, you know, census.com. But this layout, after about, you know, a couple of minutes of figuring out what on earth we're showing here, totally changes the way that you look at the links. So the first thing is that we now have the link in context, literally. So we're seeing what text is around the link. Yeah. So, you know, this is, you know, where the page is. The bit in green is what you're looking for. So the anchor text for this particular link is Are You Okay? And it's surrounded with a bunch of text. So this has what we're calling a zero link density. In other words, the percentage of content that surrounds the anchor text, or the primary anchor text and link, how much of that is links? And the answer is 0, because there are no other links immediately around the page. If I go to another one, for example, where we've got it's 76 link density, and we've got the link here, and around you can see these dotted lines, hopefully comes through on the screen, are all the other links. So this one has links all around it. So it's just surrounded by links. So the Australian Manshed Association, clearly now, this is a supporters, well, you can see from the URL that this is a supporters page, but it's just a list of links, and it's going to make a big difference to the context of Are You OK's link in that picture. Yeah. So you know that for a start turns it into something really powerful. And if you want to, you can you know, just see the actual markup underneath there that we pulled to get that. You can hover over these things and see which ones are internal links and which ones are external links. So, you know, that brings it alive without having to go to the page, without having to look at all the individual stuff. And also there's images and stuff in here as well. But the really clever bit, I think, is this chart over here. And this chart over here has totally changed things, because what Majestic have done is they've taken the HTML of every single page on the web and they've chunked it. So they've put it into 40 different separate chunks. So as you're looking at this chart here, you're going down the page. So the top 2.5% of the HTML has 5 internal links, because the blue is the internal links. So down here, right down the bottom, you've got you know, a few internal links in the bottom 2.5% of the page. In the middle, there's some internal links. And this green line, again, we're looking at green, says that link to Are You OK on this page is right near the top of the page. So immediately on these things, you can see where the link is on the page and how many other links are around it. So these blue lines are internal, the yellow is external. So these charts then make up a fantastic understanding of the link literally in context. Does that make sense, Jim? Did I explain that right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first time through, I was going, what the hell am I looking at? But
Yeah.
I think what's important here for me, I don't think you've told us how you're getting. I don't think you've mentioned how you cut up the page. I thought that was very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I probably did, but I probably went through it pretty quick.
Well, I mean, I think that was interesting for me because the way that you cut up the page into, was it how many chunks? 44
chunks, 40 chunks. So 2.5% is each
yeah.
one. Yeah.
So, and that you're not necessarily eliminating internal linking as some part of the value that the link on the page actually has. So So whereas you're counting that. I mean, I guess my question, one of the questions I have about it, is its value in the eyes of the search engine only, really. Although I suppose from the user's perspective,
I think the thing is, by doing this, we've proved to ourselves, at least, and hopefully to the rest of the world, that it's actually possible for a search engine to analyze a web page in a machine readable form, where they can sit there and quite easily see the difference between links that are likely to be in line with the real text and are likely to be in the flow of the user, versus those that are going to be navigational at the top or the bottom, and also with the stuff around it, being able to see the stuff around it. It's now a machine readable bit of information. So
the thing I like about it, you can quickly see. From my perspective, because the way I look at the value of links is what traffic do they deliver, and you can quickly see just by looking at that visually that that yellow pages one is great. That workhouse the Black Dog Institute dog. I'm looking at that one.
That's not so great because it's further down on the page, so 78% from the top. It's link number 869 on the page.
Is it really? But to me, that's a good link, right? Like if I wanted the traffic from that, that's probably a good link from that site that context.
You'd think it was. But because it's so far down on the page, it's not likely to be quite as good as you think. But that said, it is nicely done with a good sentence and not too much faff around it. So it looks like it's a whole page on well-being in the workplace, and then it's got a resource for for Are You OK? But it's still further down on the page. It's nowhere near as good as the Yellow Pages one. And this is the funny thing, right? Because I'm not a big fan of Yellow Pages links. I mean, I think they are Yellow Pages links.
Oh,
but
certainly, everyone gets traffic from Yellow Pages.
But this one's a totally different game, because if you go to the yellowpages.com homepage, you're going to see that they are putting the whole resources of yellow.com.
Yeah, I'm going to go and have a look at the context of the words around it, actually, because when you click to purchase a Yellow online listing, I don't know if when you just look at it that way, it doesn't read that well. Like it's
but you're going to get a lot of people clicking on that because they're going to want to see more about the. Let's go and have a look at the URL.
Yeah, try.
Sorry, this is my lag time looking at Australian websites from the UK. So here it is. Yellow is proud to sponsor the partnership of Are You OK? I mean, it's right there. You've got the heading of yellow.com, and then their big sell line is sponsoring Are You OK? It's even before they sell their product. It's brilliant. So Yeah, I don't think it, and on the homepage as well. So it's a good link. So the point is, you can't just redo a link analysis system to do this. They have to record. Instead of 40, instead of one file for every web page, it needs 40 separate files for every web page, really. To break this up and understand it. Anyway, I'm going to come off of my majestic thing there and come back to you, mate.
Well, that was fascinating, Dixon. I hope we can do this again, and people should get out and have a go with the tool and
Jim,
see what they think.
I hope we can talk about entities and stuff in the future.
Oh, yeah, mate, I'd love to do that. There's a lot we can talk about there. Anyway, I'll see you soon.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.